I hope you had a lovely Sunday. You are enjoying the weekend. I'm here today again on my YouTube channel to talk about, the reasons why Africa is left behind. I've spoken about, three different reasons, and today I'll be talking about discrimination. So if you have not been watching my show, I might just go back and tell you what I've spoken about in the past. The first one I spoke about was wickedness, and the second one was selfishness, and the third one was corruption. And today I'll be talking about discrimination. So please join me on my live stream. So discrimination is an unjust, or in any way different from other people, and you're being treated as a result of your physical characteristics. Okay, so if you're being treated differently because of either your sex, your age, your gender, you know, then you are being discriminated against. And we have, different types of discrimination, which could be direct discrimination or indirect discrimination. So the direct discrimination is if you are being treated, differently as a result of, for instance, if you have any physical disability, maybe you have a mental disability, you have some issues with your skin, and which is really making you look really bad. Those ones are not put in paper, but sometimes people can be discriminated against in Africa for such reason. But the major ones we'll be talking about is, race, which is general. That's just the general direct discrimination I've been mentioning as an example. But when I go into the detail how it has left us behind, I'll be talking about those aspects that actually affected us as Africans. But in general, direct discrimination would be like sex, being discriminated against as a result of your sex, as a result of your race, your age, or race. Okay, so the indirect discrimination is when, a policy or a rule which covers everyone is not affecting a particular group differently, or affect yeah that is when you now talk about indirect discrimination, meaning that it's not something targeted towards you, but the policy or the rule is affecting a particular set of people. For instance, if a rule, there's a policy is in place that says, for instance, that you don't want people, playing Christian music, or playing, no, for instance, playing music more than once a week, for instance. I'm just giving a little example now. You and I know as Christians, we go to church on Sunday, we have midweek services. So as a result of that, it's going to affect us. In as much as, the policy didn't mention Christian, but it says, do not play music, do not want to hear any, loud music played in any building, more than once a week. So as Christians, we know that that is going to affect us because we go to church on Sundays and we go to church midweek service, and when we have any other program. Just giving you like a literal example of what indirect discrimination could be, meaning that it's not something targeted to you, towards you, but because you belong to a certain group or certain, group of people, it will not be affecting you more than the general public. Okay, but the major issue that have set us back as African people is the direct discrimination, meaning by sex, our age, or tribe, and tribe as well. That one is the major one that I really find have really kept us behind as Africans. We tend to discriminate people based on, where they have come from. If you are a Nigerian and you see a fellow Ghanaian person or someone from Somalia, any other part of the world, we are all Africans. We are all human beings. Okay? We have to treat people and accept people the way we are. They don't have to look like us. They don't need to dress like us. They don't need to be, you know, to present themselves the way we present ourselves. You have to respect people for who they are. But back home in Africa, we tend to discriminate a lot. And the one I want to talk about that has really kept us behind in Nigeria is tribal discrimination. Nigeria is as the heart of Africa, where I come from. I'm be using that more as a yardstick because that's where I grew up, and that is the giant of Africa. I believe if we can get it right in Nigeria, most African countries will emulate us. For instance, years ago, when the banking sector will be recruiting, I would try to get job in the banks when we were in Nigeria then. We find out that for an Igbo person to get a job in First Bank, for instance, was a big challenge. And someone said to me, why will you be expecting to get a job in First Bank, your friend to get a job in First Bank of Nigeria? I said, why not? He said, because that is a Yoruba bank. I said, what? What do you mean by a Yoruba bank? He said, no. The majority of the people, the big, shots, the people who have the money in First Bank are Yorubas. So they employ their own people. That bank is a Yoruba bank. And when the time I opened an account in First Bank, I really walked around the bank. Every time I go there, it's mainly really Yoruba people there. Then when Standard Trust, the former, when Standard Trust was in existence, which has changed now to a different bank, when I walked into Standard Trust, I realized that everyone there was like Igbo speaking, tribe. I'm like, somebody said, yes, when the Yoruba banks refuse to employ us, we have to open ours so we can employ our people too. I'm like, gosh, this is not good. This is not how, a country is being run. And that is how we have run our continent as Africa. And that thing have kept us behind. It's not about the language you speak. It's not about how you look, but it's about what you have to offer the organization. That is what we should be looking into. I served in West African Portland Cement in Alausa, Ikeja, Lagos. That's where I did my youth service. After I did my orientation in Benue State, I came back to Lagos, and that is where I did my youth service. And I found out too that the West African Portland Cement is totally populated by the Yorubas as well. For you, who is not a Yoruba person, to come in there to work, you must really, really know either Yoruba person that have connected you there. For me to even have my youth service done there they were even asking me, how did you get here? How did you get here? Anyway, so this is a big issue, a big issue in our country, Nigeria, and in all African countries. We need to take people for who they are, not about tribe. It's not about what you speak, it's not about where you come from, it's not about how you dress, because back home in Africa, once they see you and you open your mouth to speak, before you speak, if they ask you where are you from, and you say where you're from, before you even say anything, you already been judged. They've already decided how they're going to treat you, what the answer to the question you came to ask would be. It shouldn't be like that. We cannot, okay, for instance, now for the bank issues, the bank sectors I was talking about, meaning if I was very good and I had something to offer a bank, and because that bank cannot employ me because of my tribe, that means, that, knowledge, skills I was willing to, transfer to that job that I was applying for is not going to materialize there. I'm going to keep it to myself until I find an Igbo speaking or Robo speaking person that have opened a bank that's going to employ me. So that those things are setting us backward. It has kept us behind as a set of people. We should look at what we help the organization to grow, what the person is going to offer. It shouldn't be about tribe. I was also aware that now the same thing that is happening now is happening in Delta State as well. So when people in different states, when people come to the local government to get a job, they make sure that you are from that locality, that state or that community before you can actually get a job or a contract or something. I said, what is this? We claim to be one Nigeria, one Africa. If we are discriminating amongst ourselves like this, how are we going to grow? How are we going to move forward? We can't be discriminating amongst ourselves and you think, you're going to go anywhere. And that was why when I came to Ireland and we're facing, employment issues, and I was talking to another Nigerian man about it, and he said to me, we're talking about, inequality in employment, in Ireland, we don't have equal opportunities there for job. And he said to me, he's not really bothered about that because as a Nigerian, as an Igbo man who lived in the north, who lived in the north that he has been faced, you know,